Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Meneer Teacher Shay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
These people.
Come on,
Yeah.
Fabio. Here we go.
Alrighty,
Good evening.
Good evening. How's
Good
everyone
evening.
doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, how's everybody else?
Good.
Oh, mate.
So
well.
far, good.
You have to wait for me now.
What are you reading?
I'm reading Batman 100.
Okay.
So,
Something related to Batman for sure.
it's very good.
What about keeping the faith, Whittel?
Oh, yeah. Hang on.
Nice t-shirt here.
Well, I think.
There's footballer.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Renee, what happened to you?
Everybody well?
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
Met you.
I'm back.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Good. Now, this is going to be fun when everybody tries to talk at the same time.
Exactly. We have to put up our hand, I think.
That's good. See, that's the teacher speaking.
We have our moderator. We have our moderator.
No, Whittel, you can't go to the toilet already.
Not nice, is it? May I say you're all looking very well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
What he said.
I'm very pleased with Mr. Perkins, because usually look awful, but you look beautiful today.
I'm what, sorry?
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
COVID, we'll start with the serious things first, shall we? We'll get the serious stuff out of the way first. So, how do we all see conventions evolving in the world of COVID?
I think eventually we'll get back to normal. You know, eventually the lockdowns will have to stop. World Health Organization are telling us they're not working. They're the people that everybody's been taking notice of, but mysteriously they're not doing that at the minute. But eventually someone has to give. He has to give. Otherwise, everything stops.
Yeah, and you're right, it's reliant on people being sensible and being well behaved and stuff now, but
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think we'll get it. Nice hastings.
Yeah, you said some people being sensible. That's where we're
I know,
at.
I know. I'm starting the conversation off being optimistic.
No, I think we'll have to learn to live with it. I think it's not going to go away. SARS has never gone away. Yeah, conventions still happen in the Far East. We just have to be a bit smart. I can't see anything happening in the immediate future. I've been speaking to a few friends of mine who do big conventions in America and stuff, and they're saying next year's a write-off straight away anyway, flying bans and this and the other. And I don't see how you can social distance a convention. I think it's going to be very hard to do. But
Do you think it's actually going to be that? Do you think it's actually going to take another 12 months or enough before
I think so. I think until football stadiums are full, until we start getting the outdoor stuff done, I think the indoor stuff will be last. Because all the scientists point out that the virus spreads quite well indoors. And that's like kind of a tactile thing, aren't we? We hit each other and we have people's comments and it's a shiny and we have all that kind of interaction. That's what makes cons brilliant, isn't it? That's what makes cons what they are. You know, we all meet up, we all hug each other, we all have like a good time, we're all close to each other and things. That's why, that's what I'm missing about cons more than anything, is the fact that I'm missing all you guys, I'm missing my friends, I'm missing all the kind of silliness that we have and stuff. And we could, never mind the kind of comic side of it, I'm missing the social aspect of it more than anything. But I also think it's going to be very difficult to have that interaction across a table, unless the table's 2 meters wide and we're all wearing masks and gloves. It'll take away that stuff until that gets better. Like I saw pictures of a convention in America, which was a couple of weeks ago, and the tables, you have like a circle around the tables. So you're never going anywhere near the people you come to see. It just didn't look right.
No.
But that's, to me, you want that interaction with people. I want to go and see Tim, I want to go and see, you lot,
Well, that's kind of the point of it. Having done a virtual con along with one or two other people on here, it was weird. I mean, it was well populated and stuff, but it's just no.
It's like we've been running a course like that. We've been doing it virtually. Now, as you can see behind me, I'm in a comic shop now, and we're all in here. We've spent, since the very beginning of lockdown, way back in March, just doing it via Facebook, which is okay until we started doing all these changes. Then it got a little bit more difficult because some of the functionality had gone. But we're back in here now. Anybody's, the right meterage you fight, everybody's wearing masks. I mean, I've not got a mask on now because you won't be able to hear me. But, we're doing everything according to the law. But it's mysterious that most people that you talk to, they've carried on as normal, but we're all still here. And, one or two of us are getting on in age now, but we're still here, I think somebody has to start looking at this in seriousness and listen to the doctors, the thousands of doctors all over the world that are telling us that this science, where is it coming from? And there's thousands of them that are petitioning governments all over the world, all saying the same thing, and now we've got the World Health Organization turning around saying, well, maybe, these lockdowns are not working, we need to think of something else. And I think somebody somewhere has to start talking to these doctors, these virologists, all that right throughout all this have said the opposite of what we've been doing. They need to start listening to them.
I think a lot of the onus is on the general public because they've just behaved irresponsibly.
But there's been times where we've been told by media that, I go back to like April time, we were told on 3 weeks, consecutive weeks, that we had all these people killing us all because they're all on beaches. Just go live CCTV footage, watch the videos. I had them up for hours over that weekend, and they weren't the congregated people. In the ones that we're saying, Blackpool, Bournemouth, all these places, nobody there, virtually empty, because everybody were doing what we were doing. They were keeping away from it.
The situation at the moment, it's a bit weird because way back in March and April, for example, as soon as we had a case, within 1 week we had 10 cases because we had 10 cases along 7 days. Schools closed, everyone was scared because the media was telling us to be scared basically, and we controlled things, we managed things and stuff like that. In June, when the economy couldn't sustain itself anymore, we started to sort of open things up slowly. Eventually, because we needed the airport to open, everything was fine. More restrictions were being lifted very, very quickly without even leaving the 15 days to sort of analyze the after effects of lifting one thing after another. Then in August, we sort of started the second wave. And I don't know whether we're on the second, third, whatever wave. I mean, today we had, I think, the highest number of cases. We had 110 and 111, and basically now, with the amount of with total amount of cases, basically 1% of the Maltese population has had or has at the moment COVID-19. So 1%. I mean, 1% is around 4,500 people, which it's not a lot, and we're considering since March, but still, there's...
Holland, it's not going so well, so a lot of Dutch people are like, we just do whatever. I think if you go outside here, it's like nothing is going on. Just yesterday we had a conference for the new rules, and I think starting next month everyone has to wear a mask. Before you didn't have to. So Holland is going great.
I think from like Malta and the UK, I think our problem will be is guests. I think a lot of people I spoke to, even coming from mainland Europe, didn't want to fly. and when they did fly, they would have to quarantine on the one side and then have to quarantine on the other side. So it's almost 6 weeks of quarantine and stuff. So I think islands like ours, I think we'll struggle getting guests. I think maybe I think US will probably get the cons going faster than we are going to do. Like I said, most of my guests, even before lockdown, were cancelling just because they didn't want to fly. They were scared of flying. Me personally, I'm similar. I don't think I want to get on a plane at the moment. I don't think I want to breathe everybody else's air in. I work for council. I'm actually a key worker. So I've worked all the way through COVID. I worked from the beginning. I was saying the same thing. I wear a mask. It does my head in. We have to. All our rooms have been COVID-5 now. So there's a room that used to hold 17 people now holds 4. So it works very hard to do. And I've had COVID. My wife's had COVID, and my daughter's had COVID. We've all had it. It's not nice. It's not great. And I'd lost probably about 3 days where I just in bed, headache, didn't do anything. And probably about 6 weeks afterwards, I was still getting out of breath, just walking upstairs. And my wife was saying, daughter, 14, bit of headache, went to the toilet, fine. Within 2 days. So it is very much children that seem to get over it very quickly. It's not great. I wouldn't recommend anyone have it.
No, a couple of my friends in Texas, the guy had to have his gallbladder removed because the body was wrecked, and his fiancée, she was very much like you, like extra long term. It's like 5 months later now, and she's still on inhalers because she can't breathe properly.
I have 2 colleagues in work who both had COVID. One of them was very, very poorly, almost hospitalised, and the other one, he wasn't as poorly, but it's now 6 months on the line, just like you were saying, Ian, he's out of breath, and he's very sporty. He's out of breath, and this is six months on, really, so I do think it's something we need to take seriously. I think planning conventions and planning things around comics where it is very taxing medium. We do go to these places to kind of meet people and pass stuff across, and there's a lot of close proximity. I think it's going to be difficult. I think it's going to be one of these kind of weird conundrums that we have to kind of piece together and to kind of see how other people do it. Because even the big conventions who can afford to let numbers slip, even they're just saying we're just not doing it. We're not putting people at danger. We're not putting guests at danger, but we're not putting the public in danger, which I think it's a sensible thing. I don't know what anyone else thinks. I think it's a sensible thing, though. I think we need to see how it pans out and then look at planning. But I think next year, is it France which has said they're looking at a 5-year plan? Is it Germany they're looking at a 5-year plan?
I think
we do have to learn to live with it in some respect.
I think that this is something we have to learn to live with. Actually, I think it's going to be there for a lot of time, so we have to work around it, actually. Yeah. In fact, at first, we were going to do a small event this year, not doing the big show, with only local guests. But unfortunately, as things were getting worse, we had to stop everything, because even if we try to do a small show here and do a smaller venue, we were afraid that the same crowd that comes to Comic Con would come to this small event, and it will be a huge event in a small venue, and it would get worse. So that was plan B. But eventually we got to plan C, which is this one, this online convention, sort of. We're doing the cosplay competition as well. We rented a small venue, and we are doing a schedule for people to come at different times, so they don't meet each other, okay? And we film them in costumes, okay? And even for the artists, we are doing like small, very small promos. They're sending us stuff, their material and things like that. So we promote the artists as well. So though they won't have their table and they won't speak with the audience, they will be promoted as well, just to keep the ball rolling.
Outside no roof. There's no venues. There's literally no way you could have that. Not a single venue will accept anyone. And 2 of the biggest venues three of the biggest venues in the country have been turned into hospitals anyway, so they're gone. So even if I wanted to put a convention, even wanted similar sort of thing, where we're looking at changing it around, and Ian, I spoke to Ian about changing the dates and doing this and making it smart. It's just there's no venues, there's nowhere we can have it, no indoor spaces, no convention centres, no halls, nothing that we're allowed to use, but all closed, so we can't do anything at all. But I think the good news about this is that people are really, really going to need cons and escapism once this tide dies down a little bit. People are going to want to come and see stuff. People are going to want to come and, I see on Facebook all the time.
There's a huge desire for it, which literally, as soon as we went into the first lockdown here, work went through the roof for me. I'm a sad little hermit. I don't go anywhere. I chain myself to the drawing board because I can't get out past work. The commission list is stupid just because people they want access to what they would have had at a con, but obviously can't now.
And I bought more comics than I've ever bought in my life recently.
Yeah.
I've literally, about 3 weeks into lockdown, I came downstairs, picked my phone up, and I was flicking through it and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm trying to look for a dealer. I need some comics." And I've spent more money and bought more comics than I've ever done ever. Literally, it's been ridiculous the amount of comics I've got. My to-read pile is about 6'2". I'm never ever it's gonna take forever, but I need that stuff. I'm not getting the kind of usual stuff I would get from cons and meeting up with people outside. Because even at cons, even just having social events with people and we're not even allowed to do that. I'm not even allowed to go around to people's houses. I'm not allowed outside space, but it's still not the same. So not having any of that, comics for me. I've regressed to a 14-year-old lonely bomb in my bedroom getting back to stuff and.
Last time I really saw anybody outside my neighbours was about 2 or so months ago. Somebody drove down from Manchester for the day.
When is that going to be?
I don't know. Some chance that. Other than that, it's things like this and 6.5-hour phone conversations.
Yeah.
Chatty redheads. 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours?
You kept on talking.
What can you talk about for 6.5 hours?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of getting mine.
We're curious.
You've got to get it. It's got to be an all-over thing.
Oh yeah, full pirate job.
I think it's the kind of thing like you don't talk to many people this whole year, and we have like a phone conversation or a Zoom meeting. It tends to be long.
Yeah, it's like playing serious catch-up.
What?
It's playing serious catch-up when you don't get to see everybody.
Yeah, especially for us like in the comic team, we don't see many people in the first place. Like quarantine is sort of on ice before this.
Yeah.
Conventions was really like the meeting place to, I don't know, see people mingle. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your...
I'm seriously starting to get like how to speak to people again.
So guys,
it's like saying like Ian and anyone you guys who work on comics and draw, you do live that life behind the desk all the time, and that's why you've all got great talents. But ultimately, you have the choice to then go out and meet people and and that's just been taken away. So now you just change your table.
It's fine. I don't like people anyway.
No, I'm not a big fan either. I'm a big fan. I love you lot though. You lot are great.
Yeah, okay.
No?
Do you not think, though, that, like, for us, we're so used to, this is our lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're lucky. There are people going around twist because they've suddenly had to work from home. We've done that forever. Our entire life has been spent at the same place for the majority of the hours of our life. We are quite antisocial, really.
There's no quite about it.
unless we go to a convention and there's karaoke on, then we're not.
So apart from Ian, who's changed his table, what are you all doing? What sort of stuff are you doodling, writing, drawing, reading, stuff? Brethren, Fabio, Chris, so what are you kind of doing? I know we're all working and stuff, but what other sort of stuff that you're doing?
Okay.
2000 AD.
Okay.
The Dread.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm Tuesday,
Just for the change.
A sneak peek.
Yeah, drawing shit. Drawing lots of Dread, drawing lots of superheroes exploding, drawing pinball machines, and a 30 long commission list I haven't been able to touch for ages. Reading lots of stuff. Just finished Dracula again for the second time. Reading Superman. Surprise, surprise. Reading lots and lots of comics.
Yes, I'm reading, as Fabio will know, I'm reading lots and lots of Elseworlds.
Yeah, we talked about that. I love them.
Did a plug here for the podcast in Elseworlds. It's very good.
Yeah, I have to read that.
We're reading lots of Elseworlds. And I also discovered, I've been sorting my comics out, and I discovered that I rebought pretty much every Elseworld comic again, to my wife's dismay.
Did you find that Garcia, that Batman's Elseworld stuff?
Yes.
The Western one and the French Revolution one.
Yes.
Good, aren't they?
They're very, very good. I like Elseworlds. There's not many weak Elseworld stories. I would recommend anyone, even if you're not into kind of, deep sea or Marvel, into superheroes, read Elseworlds, because there's a lot of kind of like Universal Monster influences. There's kind of like the saying to Fabio, the German expressions and that word.
Batman, Vampire,
Nosferatu, the Metropolis type stuff. That's all in Elseworlds. There's Western Worlds. There's some really good ones. So even if you're not into it, it's good watching, like Red Sun and Kingdom Come are very famous ones, but there are really, really good stories by Cal's great. Yeah, Cal's real, and Nation Divided, which is brilliant.
Yes.
They're all really good, because they're all like the Superman stories. A lot of them are Superman stories, but there's all that kind of nature-nurture debate, whether, what makes Superman Superman, and at the end of the day, it's he always does the right thing. And the Nation Divided is probably more, with all the stuff going on in the States at the moment, it's probably nailed right on the fact you're going to be a weapon, you're going to do that. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do the good stuff. But read Elseworlds. Elseworlds is great. It's really good. So I'm looking at comic people. You pointing. Don't know why I'm pointing, because you can't see what I'm pointing at.
Okay. You point the Tim. You're always pointing the Tim.
He's trying to kill me.
But yeah, read Elseworlds. Samantha, read Elseworlds. Read some Elseworlds. I might even send you some Elseworlds, because I've got double. Because I bought loads of it, but it's so good. So really, really good.
Who's next?
So,
what's Tim been doing?
Tim,
what are you doing?
We're back actually doing live classes for the first time. This is second week. Right throughout lockdown, we've been doing it virtually via Facebook, like I said. But you can't beat, actually being in class. Everything's perfect in here. We've got everything that we're following up, regulations, all the legislation, everything's down to T, and I'm following it to the letter. I am being a real tyrant about it, just so nobody can get, into trouble. Other than that, I've just been head down. This year I've done a children's book, I've done an educational environment book in pencil. I've done a ton of covers for exercise books that are like revamping school books. And then of course, the majority of the time I've just been working on World's End. I can't believe how much I've blasted through that this year. Front and back pages for 3 and 4 are finished. Covers finished on 3. That's complete. And I'm now penciling 3. And once that's full penciled, I'll go on to 4. So you know, for me, it hasn't done anything apart from, you know, having to go out and do my dad's shopping and stuff like that. You know, it's people like my dad I feel sorry for because he's been locked in since February. You know, he's just not been out. I've just signed up a new flat coverist, so that's been exciting. That were a completely different thing than the time I had to get Gabby on board, and a lot more people interested. So there were a lot more people to troll through and you know, find who I wanted to work with, who I thought, you know, would be a good team. And so yeah, you know, I've just been busy, and you know, it's
been a busy little bacon, man.
A great office.
Yeah, it has been a little bit like that, hasn't it? Goes back to what you were saying about being a homebody as a freelancer that works from home anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that much different apart from work. The only thing I've noticed is there are a couple of instances where work's dried up from American publishers for a little while because some of them shut down, and that was mainly due to Diamond shut down for a little bit more than anything else.
Who hits? We don't talk about Diamond.
Yeah, it's
Your best friend.
No, I can't say anything because the scenes and the cancel my car. I love Diamond. Diamond are great and the shit books on time.
Crawler.
Yeah, they never ever miss an issue ever. Ever. Things get delivered in good condition, exactly what you want, and they don't ever send you 12 issues of a book that you've never ordered. Never happens. They never send you boxes of other people's stuff. That doesn't happen either.
No.
No,
Never.
I blame the comic shop owner for that.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for a shoe to come out and pick you on the back of the head.
It's been tough. It's been tough supplying comics. Like my shop isn't like physical anymore. I do everything online. Just because I decided that I wanted a life. And I kind of let's talk about me for a second. I kind of fell out of love with comics because of it. Thanks,
Not a
mate.
biscuit.
Yes.
I kind of got sick of comics, which was weird for me. It became a problem. But now I love them again. A lot. My bank balance doesn't love them as much. But I love them. But no, it became a chore.
Weirdly, whilst all the American stuff has been struggling, 2000 AD have been getting their best sales figures ever in the last 6 months.
Because people want this stuff, don't they? They want things. They want stuff to read. To be fair, for like, I don't tend to miss many DC. It's mainly Marvel, what I struggle getting. I tend to get not many variants from DC stuff. And as for Image and them like that, I've not missed a single issue of any of them, but I've ordered. Marvel, I really struggle getting Marvel stuff. And also it doesn't help when they cancel 5-issue miniseries and issue 5, and you think, hang on a minute, I can't finish the story now. So there's been a lot of that.
Say they're cancelling a 6-issue miniseries and only putting it out as digital from 2 onwards. Then once they've done that for a month and a half, it starts appearing in print again. With
also
Shoppies. Walker Freefall, they did that with.
Yeah. So it's kind of skewing with people's orders and things, and it's been difficult. But DC have kind of, because they you probably know they broke away from Diamond, they're doing the kind of their own thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get books into like shops, like corner shops again. So it's not just direct sale anymore. They want books everywhere where you can get them. So you don't have to go to a comic book shop to get them. In America, you can go and you can order as little as you want. There's no minimum order for DC anymore. So where it used to be, you have to have like £250 or €250 worth of comics. You can order 2 and they're fine to ship them to you.
Okay.
You obviously have to pay shipping on smaller amounts. But they kind of want them everywhere. So, and during COVID, they were the first of Marvel and DC start shipping straight away. And they ship a day early as well, so they technically can sell them on a Tuesday instead of Wednesday. So in America, New Comic Book Day now is a Tuesday.
For DC, at least.
For DC, yeah, and then Marvel put these variants out saying, yeah, we're back. Buy these very expensive variants on a Wednesday. Don't look at the price, they were quid more.
Yes, it seems that COVID, I mean, made stop the production of comics on it by Diamond. I mean, not even World War II or 9/11 made it stop, but COVID pushed the publishers to actually stop distributing it in over 80 years.
Yeah. It was a strange time. Hence why I went and bought old comics.
Don't you think that this is an excuse?
I think the secondary market looks like it's gone blown. Even kind of like books were out last year, like doubling price already, because people are just craving for comic. I think the appetite for escapism and cinema. I think I'm concerned that we're going to lose cinema. But with all the films being cancelled and moved to next year and the year after and the year after. So I think people need I think more now than ever, people need escapism. People need to pick up a book and escape to Gotham City or to New York, Spider-Man or whatever.
But that is why then, for example, it seems that since a lot of TV and films were pushed back with production, etc., and even now that some of them have restarted shooting and all, but the costs are too high, and it seems that the animation sector is the one booming at the moment, because animators and voice dubbers can work from home, so they don't have the same budget restrictions, and they don't need to respect the social distancing issues and problems that it creates when filming TV series, for example.
I want to see a t-shirt. Bring a t-shirt close to the camera.
Yeah.
Jim Lee, let me look at your t-shirt.
I have to take it off. I have to take it off.
No.
No way. It's Jim Lee. Ish.
Yeah, that's a Jim.
I don't know if it's official, mind
I've
you.
not seen that one.
I don't know if it's official. That's why.
It's not as nice as the S.
I don't know.
It's just not, is it? Not as nice as Tim's fleece.
Tim's
That's a lovely fleece, Tim.
It really brings it out your eyes, Tim.
We have Renee, who is the lady in red. She's all red. Look.
So, Renee, how are you doing? What are you working on anything? What are you reading? What are you doing? How's life?
Well, I've been working on a couple of things. I did a few children's books this year. Still working on some comics.
Anthology.
Anthology, yes.
No, you don't need to say more than anthology. I am putting an anthology together, and that's it.
Yeah, there's going to be coming a very cool project next year, which we started this year. So, but I'm not going to say anything about that just yet.
Okay.
So you're putting together an anthology?
Yes.
Okay.
I
can't leave it for that.
That's like a reaching red. I can see the pain coming out because you're thinking.
So is it an anthology of like random stories? Is it based around something? What's the kind of vibe from it?
Wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about that just
Because
yet.
the viewers are not going to be happy with less C. They're not going to. You're letting the viewers down. You're letting Malta down. You're letting me down. But more importantly, I think you're letting yourself down.
Well, I'm putting a little mystery in it now, so people be curious.
Okay.
Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Moving swiftly on. I'm gonna have to angle myself because I'm
Don't angle it anymore because we've got a very nice view of the beautiful artwork behind you.
Yes, I'm slipping. I'm so that's.
Boom.
That's wonderful. I don't know, but it's wonderful. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
It's not bad, is it?
Christopher Lee.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? No, it's good. Hang on.
No.
Take you on my front. This is my favourite piece. I love this more than anything in the world. I love this more than my wife.
Oh, that's
Oh.
stunning.
I'm just going to point out, look, buckles.
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 What? Buckles?
It's not.
I
It's
would
not
like to point
like
out.
a cult or anything, but
No. Oh, so good.
T-shirt, Martin.
I would like to point out there are another 5 people taking part in this conversation that currently have no idea what's going on.
yeah. So I'm just wandering around. I had to stand up because one, my foot was going dead, and two, I was slipping further and further down my sofa. So ultimately, I ended up on the floor, and nobody wants to see that. And that's my T-shirt wearing Dark Ice Metal, and you got a bit of Dark Ice Metal Wonder Woman there. So.
We're going to do a live stream.
He's playing the guitar. That's good. Okay.
Samantha, what about you?
At the moment, I'm not really reading anything. I'm too busy transforming my normal teaching to online, and not to online actually, transforming things from being able to teach just in class and having to teach at class and having a portion of the class at home and transferring things, so it's taking a lot of time preparing that. I am catching up on some of the series I missed. It seems this week we might start watching The Boys very soon, so I'm at least catching up on some of the things I left off before, or I have time to catch up on. At least that's a positive thing, while things are, still in production or are going to start streaming late. But apart from that, nothing really much. I was a bit bummed. I was looking forward to watch the Wonder Woman film.
No.
Back to next year, isn't it? It's June next year.
Yeah, next year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been cool.
Exactly. So but the trailer is on constantly, like at the cinemas. You can see the trailer, and but we've been just waiting and see if it ever comes to the cinema at the moment.
Well, if we're concluding things, I would just like to say it's been fab talking to you all, and I miss you all dearly. I do miss that kind of banter and the kind of come down from cons. I miss just chatting about rubbish with people, really, and putting the water out and trying to kill Tim. I've missed doing that with you, so it's just going to be double hat next year.
Yeah, this week I can't get my hands round his throat over video call.
It's because it's police.
The last time we met, we had that fantastic event at school,
Yeah.
and the week after, this happened.
Yes.
Do you think there's a bit of a link there?
So it's all your fault.
No, I'm blaming you.
I'm not taking the responsibility. But no, it's been great seeing you all, and you all look very well. You all look, apart from Fabio, looks exactly the same. You all look really, really well. So
Fabio looked better in that gif of the bear he sent that with.
What?
yeah, he looks better on his picture. He's the sort of person whose passport picture looks better than the real thing.
No.
But no, it's been emotional. It's been great. It's been silly, and thank you so much. And see you on the other side.
And it's
Yes,
been
we
worth
hope
it.
to be able to organize something in the near future. I don't know when we're going to meet again, but hopefully we'll be able to meet again very, very soon.
I've already spoken to a couple of guys that said next time I'm on a plane for a holiday, I'm coming over to Malta, so we'll go out for dinner and stuff.
You're great. See you.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks everyone for joining and for doing this. Thanks. Bye bye.